Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me on another Wednesday edition of Paranormal Brew. I'm your host, Taryn Kerber, and I have two lovely people on with me this evening. Nick Carboni, and I hope I said that right, or Carboni, and Brie Hollingshead, and AKA Brick. It was cute. They said, I think I saw them write that somewhere before. You all know them. You remember Brie's hashtag Be Like Brie, and they have an array of little niches they have in the paranormal, things that they've contributed to over the years. Um, Once did their own solo thing separately, and then eventually found each other. And now they're together, and they travel and they do all kinds of fun paranormal stuff together, and truly are a positive couple in the field, a positive, powerful couple in the field. So I'm happy to have them on tonight. Um, I do want to take a minute, really quick, and give a shout out to my friend Sean McClure. Please go check out his Phantasmagoria Antiques and Oddities shop. I don't know if I can never say that word right, so I hope I said that right. But please go check his shop out. It's so cool. He has so many cool things on there. I ordered some stuff. The packaging was amazing. The quality of the items that I ordered was amazing. So just go check him out. He's awesome. I also want to dedicate this episode to, I did not know her, but being a survivor of online bullying, Michaela Rains, the woman everybody's talking about it, the Save a Fox Foundation. Not just dedicate this episode to her, but to all the people out there that have been bullied online. And unfortunately, there's not much law enforcement can do unless something is done physically to you. But they just tell you, okay, take it, build a case, and go from there. So unfortunately, that's all that anybody that is a victim of bullying or cyberbullying can do until, unfortunately, something horrible happens. So I would like to dedicate this episode to her and anybody else that has been through anything in that sense of bullying, cyberbullying. It's a terrible thing. You have no idea what people are going through off of line. And when you add in bullying, you have no idea what that can do to somebody. So, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it. It's classic, right? With that being said, also, I've had some trouble lately with sharing my shows out. Facebook has limited my sharing to groups. Also, normally I'm live on my personal page, but for some reason it does not let me change the audience to public. It's at only on me until after my show is done. So for my guests, I'm just asking, please, can you share my show out for them? This is their show. I want their stuff to get out there. So please, can you share this out for them? And I would appreciate that, because I'm having such a hard time right now with Facebook. So without further ado, I'm going to bring my two lovely guests on. I hope I'm still not lagging. There is a thunderstorm happening right now in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. So hopefully I am not, getting stuck in weird positions and ugly faces and stuff. So let me bring Brick on. Hello.
Hey, how are
How
you?
are you too? How are you too? So happy you could join us this Wednesday.
Doing good. I'm sharing it out right now.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're
I was able to
welcome.
share it to some groups, but after I get like I have been sharing to over 50 groups every week for like the longest time. And all of the sudden it's been stopping me. I share to like maybe 10 to 15 and then it stops me. I can't do it anymore. So now I've been trying to invite people and I've been trying to share it out and it's really it's been a struggle. So I appreciate it.
Our pleasure. We're doing our best. I always, whenever we're on something, I always try my hardest to share it out. Like I know a lot
Yeah.
of people are like, "Are you ignoring?" No, I'm still here. I'm sharing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I appreciate it. So before we get into the two of you and your adventures and everything that you guys do, um, let's just we'll introduce each of you, and kind of give a little background of how you got into paranormal, what you've been doing, and then how you guys eventually found each other. I'm going to make Nick go first.
Oh wow. Okay.
Zach, you're it.
Age
Hello.
before beauty.
Wow. Okay.
I'm kidding. I love you, Nick.
Well, hello everybody on the East Coast. My name is Nick Carboni. Yeah, that's my story. No. Um, let's see. My background. Started Old World Paranormal Society in 2017. Um, we did a boatload of residential cases. Well over 50 successful cases in my early career. And then I got introduced to a bunch of different stuff and then had the opportunity to co create the Bell Mansion in Fort Wayne. Had a very successful podcast for a long time, Old World Paranormal Podcast. Author, Paranormal, what is it? Uh, Paranormal Legacy and the Ugly Truth. Author by, yeah, see right here. It's right here. See. Um, Now, what do I do now? Help run the state house here in Fort Wayne, court in Fort Wayne, and a plethora of other shit we're getting into. And I'm a huge advocate of
Uh-oh.
do what's moral. If
Wait,
you have
you're a huge wait, say it again because it like stopped a little bit. You said you're a huge advocate of
right,
yeah.
so I'm a huge advocate of speaking out of people that are in our community that are sexual predators, rapists, attempted murderers. You fucking name it. Bullying. Like that whole group there on the East Coast is trying to come after my friend Jeff Fent. Fair warning, don't do it. Just
Yeah.
don't do it. But yeah, that's me, and I've been known to be very outspoken, very vocal, and I'm not ashamed of it. I feel very comfortable in those shoes, and yeah, that's me. Hi.
Bree. Bree.
Yeah. So, grew up with the paranormal. Actually, had my first experience with a full body apparition at the age of 6. My mom was a medium, and I grew up with gifts, not fully understanding all of it. And through time, it all kind of shut down due to trauma. Our brains are amazing with how they protect us. A lot of people say trauma triggers, but I think a lot of people don't realize trauma also shuts down too. Um, you know, Especially when you're living in narcissistic situations, and abusive situations. And went through a disillusionment. And my 2 boys sat me down, and it was July of 23, and they were like, "Mom, you raised us on the paranormal, and we've always lived in haunted places. Why don't you? It's a passion of yours. Why don't you start pursuing your passion and find yourself, learn to love yourself again, so you can be the best you for you and the best mom you can be for us." And so I started going to events, and I ended up like chronicalizing one. I actually was on my way to an event in North Carolina, and um, I heard, chronicle it, like make it fun, make it epic, share this out. And so like I put it all over Twitter and Twitter ate it up. And then I started sharing to Facebook and I don't know if I want to say unfortunately, but yeah, we'll say unfortunately was part of a group. And but through that,
Fortunately, because that's where I met you through.
yeah. So I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, do you say unfortunately? But it's like it's one of those things that is a part of you. So will I name the name? I will not name the name, but I was part of
Appreciate
a group.
that.
And of course, no, like that's like poison. Like I don't feel like, unaliving myself right now by saying the name. So so many amazing people like you, Taryn, and it's like I ended up with the hashtag Be Like Brie because I was encouraging people to pursue collecting baseball cards. You're playing lacrosse, you play pool or sports, or it's knitting. Like pursue your passion, love yourself. You can be, because nobody else can pick up the pieces for you. Nobody else can make your life be what you want it to be, but you.
Right.
Back from the whole trauma and the trigger and heal yourself, love yourself. That became like my mantra. And through that, I actually, as the bigger it got, people started telling me like different people to follow, and I ended up following Nick. Somebody told me to follow Nick. They were like, he's Midwest, he's close to you, because at the time I was in Ohio. And they were like, follow him. He's got, OWPS, and he does these amazing things with his team. Follow him. 2 weeks later, Nick sent me a friend request. I ended up going to my very first Paracon, which I was incidentally, that's where I was let go of by the team.
Thankfully,
Thankfully, it was my silver lining. It was definitely a benefit. And but that's where Nick and I met in person. And the week after that, we were at another Paracon together, and Nick and I have been inseparable since. But so I did a lot of solo stuff. I ended up being Paranormal Trippin Brie. Ran into a security issue last year in 23, and Nick and I took the stance then. We were like, we need to take the stance of safety in the paranormal and stand for what's right. And if we get blacklisted, we get blacklisted. We're not in this for the follows. We're not in this for the likes. We do this as a passion and out of genuine, like we have analytical minds and we want to understand better. We want to know and we want to help people. A really cool, amazing thing that happened through it was my last big trip I did solo in the winter of 24. I went through this huge I was already going through an awakening, but that's when it really like just boomed. And my gifts have like really developed. I now offer readings. I can do past, present, future. So that's something that I do on the side now. I work with people. I don't care if you can pay me or not. Like, I'm not in it for the money. My thing is, if you need help.
Wait, what?
I know.
You're not in it for the money?
No. That's our job to do with our day jobs.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Like, that's what our day jobs are for. Like, I feel like this is a gift, and this is something that was given to me to help others, not to benefit myself.
You're such a good person, Brie. You're a good person. You really are.
I appreciate that. Thank you. So, I try to use that to help locations. I use that to help people when they're in need, when they need help and guidance. And I, at this point now, like, cooperate at the State House with Nick. Nick and I, it's a family venture, but we run that, we're kind of like the faces. We handle the bookings, the checking in.
We the faces.
We the faces,
We the
baby.
faces.
And we've got Mysteries of the Fort, a paranormal and metaphysical symposium that's coming in November to Fort William that we're putting on. So we're doing that. And this weekend, we're actually doing a private event, so we can't really talk about it because it is with a company. But we are launching a brand new thing that we're doing. This is basically going to be the dry run for it, and based on how this weekend goes, most likely on Sunday, Monday, you're going to see us announce it, and we're going to be taking it to locations for other people to experience and have fun with.
That's awesome. Good for you. So, okay, I want to say yes, I agree. They both know how much I love them. So, I was just saying that Brie, because Brie and I kind of we were we were pitted against each other kind of by people, and then we then wound up, talking for a lot and wound up
Yeah,
loving each other. So that's why I wanted to make sure I put it out there that she knows that I do truly think she's an amazing person, despite what people were trying to make me believe about her and think about her. And these people are no longer in my life, but I'm just saying, I mean, it's I'm happy that they're not and she is. So,
yeah. Like
uh,
it was definitely like because it was the same people that negatively
yeah,
affected us,
yeah,
and the same people that bullied Taryn bullied me. Like
yeah,
I'm now blacklisted and blackballed up and down the East Coast in a lot of places. And you know what? It makes me giggle. Like at first I was like, why? I didn't do anything. And it's like, you know what? I'm not going to live that victim mentality. You want to blacklist me, you want to blackball me, that's fine, because there's plenty of other fucking places I can go. There's
yeah,
plenty of other people that I can meet, that I can have fun with, I can enjoy. Like Taryn, I consider you like family. Like you're
yeah.
literally a sister to me. And it's like, you know, what happened, it blessed me. It blessed me with the people that were supposed to be in my life. Like I see it
Absolutely.
as, a door. Like my mom always said, when a door shuts, a window opens. No, it's like the cat door shut and like the barn door opened is what happened. So
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good analogy. I like that. Um,
thank
so
you.
let's talk about um, so now are Fort Wayne and is there and state? So are they two separate places?
So the state house is actually. Do you want to talk about it? Because it's actually the state house is Nick's childhood home. That is
Oh,
now
okay.
an open location to book. It's open 7 days a week, 365.
Yeah.
We made it affordable for anybody to be able to come to, and so it's all weather. Like we were just telling you, we put a new AC unit in the upstairs, so there's an AC unit downstairs and upstairs. It's got heat in the winter. It's got all amenities. I mean, the only thing it doesn't have right now is a stove or like an oven, and we're probably not going to put a stove in just for legality's sake and for safety purposes. But why don't you
Yeah,
talk about the state house, babe?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I'm just like my mind is just irritated right now with what's going on.
yeah, yeah. I
I'm
know.
trying to like saw it out of my head so I can focus on you, but it's
Yeah,
like I'm
I
just
get it.
like it. This is literally like the sweetest man in the world.
Oh, I know.
So I'm having issues right now. So that's why I'm
Yeah,
like, you just talk about it. I'm just gonna sit here and stare at the screen. But no, okay. So the State House is it's a unique location because it's my childhood home. We had no
right.
intentions of making this a paranormal location, none whatsoever. So we moved in the house in 1987. This was it was my mom, me, and my sister. My sister's 7 years older than me, and this was really like our first home. We went from rental to rental, and then mom, working two jobs, single mom, she was able to finally get us a home, and it was like to us it was a castle, and we loved this house, and and my stepdad, he came in the picture and 93 and he passed away of May of 2023, and it took mom a while to come to terms that hey, it's time to like move on from the house. It's way too big, it's old, a lot of upkeep. But you got to let her take her time, so it finally came to fruition. And so we moved her out in September, actually on Brie's birthday of last year. And I don't know, we were bored one night, so me, Brie, and my sister and my daughter, which Brie is a medium, my
Right.
sister's a medium, and my daughter's a medium, and then there's me.
So he basically got to sit there and eat popcorn,
Pretty
and
much.
like
So
while we were the ones going to town, we went ham.
So what
yeah,
made you guys investigate it? Was like growing up in the house, was there things that had happened
yeah,
in the house?
yeah, there was we always had some type of weird activity. My sister had a lot. There was places in the house you never really wanted to be in. Not that they weren't safe, it just felt uncomfortable. You would see things out of the corner of your eyes, but again, this was our home. This was my mom's home. We grew up there. My kids and my sister's kids. Now there's 8 great grandkids and stuff like that. So it was a very loving home. Now we were bored one night, so we were like, "Hey, the house is completely empty. Let's go investigate it and see what's been there the whole time."
Yeah.
And we did, and we had a phenomenal night. We were like blown away from it. So I asked my mom. I was like, "Hey, can I call some teams around the country, have them come in and to investigate and give us an honest assessment of the house?" Mom's like, "Yeah, I don't care." Mom knows she's right along in the paranormal with us, supporting and doing all that stuff. So we did, and these teams came back, with phenomenal stuff, and we were just like, wow. So we would go back and investigate, then we'd bring in another team, and so on and so forth. And then I'm like, "Well, Mom, I said, I'll be completely honest with you. My mom, through my stepdad, he fought cancer for 4.5, almost 5 years. They depleted every savings they ever had, all their retirement. My mom's living off just Social Security, barely making the mortgage payment. So I go, Mom, why don't we do like a soft opening and, let people come in for like $100, give you a little extra money for Christmas." And my mom was like, "Okay, that's fine." Because we were still going to sell it.
Right.
We were going to just walk away from it. And then it was just team after team after team coming back, like just blown away. And I'm like, well, shit.
Like, we had people giving us, like, one team gave us 15 EVPs. The next team after that gave us 30 EVPs. The next people we had in was Joel and Scott Klingensmith out of Michigan. And they were filming an episode there. And so they asked me to give them the medium walkthrough. And I gave them the medium walkthrough. And, but it was, like, very little. Like, I kept it very... I don't like to give too much, I like to give just enough for people to go like, wait, what the hell's here? This doesn't make sense. This is a family home. Why is this here? And, Joel ended up calling me about 2-3 weeks after they filmed, and he's like, I need to interview you for this. And so we did a phone interview, and he's like, I cannot, we're stopping the other videos because we need to get this one out. This location blew our minds, and with what you've just now told us and the walkthrough that you gave us, you validated just about everything we experienced in our investigation. And I'll be honest, we sat down and we watched their video, and we were blown away. Like, it was just insane.
That's awesome.
So we sat down with my mom and my sister January 1st, and I said, Mom, because Mom was looking to get, take all the equity out of the house, sell it, put money back in, so she can live out of retirement. And I said, Mom, it was a difficult conversation because knowing my stepdad had passed away there, and he is there. So that was a touchy subject. Now, he's not the only one there, but, I said, look, the house can pay for itself, Mom. If you want to take the equity out of it, take the equity out of it. Let's open it up. Let's make it a research center. Let's make it affordable for people. Let's make it very comfortable for people, and that's what we did. And we hit the ball running, and, we're almost 7 months into it. And, very fortunate, people have enjoyed their time there. And, and I understand that aspect because of my time opening the Bell Mansion. I already understood all that, so it was very easy for me. But it's a very unique location. There's nothing negative. There's no demonic crap. There's no negative spirits. But this one, for mediums, it's like a playground.
Oh, it's like Disneyland. Every time we go in, it's different. Every time it's different. Like, we have our regular, as I like, we've got our regulars that are there, cast of characters, so to speak. And then we have a lot that just come and go. And it's not always the same. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. And, for me, what makes it really interesting and really cool is that, like, this really is a family thing, seeing the family, the physical and the meat suits family do this. But we've got Nick's family that has passed on, that's there. And now my family that has passed on is showing up too.
Yeah.
So it's
And
real interesting.
and diving into it now, Fort Wayne has a really rich history. We're in Northeast Indiana, but we're dead smack in the middle of Indianapolis, Chicago, Lansing, Detroit, Toledo, Dayton, Columbus. Like, it was a major hub for a lot of different things throughout history. And plus the whole Native American tie that we have in Fort Wayne, it's really blowing our mind, some of the stuff that we are catching or getting at our location, what has to do with the history of Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
What's crazy. So, again, I really hate bringing it back up, but at the Bell, we really didn't dive much into that part of the history of Fort Wayne because of some of the other stuff that was going on in that location. So this is even more exciting for me to not only is this, we're opening up our family home, with the living, but also the deceased, but so much rich history, especially where the house is located.
I was going to ask you about the house.
It's coming to fruition, and it just makes for a very interesting investigation.
Yeah, like one thing, like I always like when I highlight locations, and I would always go in and I would give just a little bit of history with a little bit of the haunting to try to like tease people, like wet their whistle, so to speak. And the history, and I always would tell people, you don't have a haunting without your history.
Right.
Even if you don't do your research until after you come to the location to investigate, you got to realize that the history is playing huge in a lot of locations to what you have going on at your location. And you got to understand, like with Fort Wayne, that was the War of 1812. There were 3 different forts that were built. All 3 were burnt down. You've got the French that were here, the British. You've got the different German, Spanish, the different regiments that came to fight against the Americans. And then you've got the different ones that also came to fight with the Americans, So there's a lot of intercultural stuff there. And then with, Indiana being the land of the Indians, you can even look at maps that date to like 1820s. And right below, we're in Allen County, and right below Allen County, it'll have like certain counties marked out. And right below the Allen County line, there's a thick line on the maps, and everything up, it says, Indian territory. So It's like, it was huge. And so it's like, I always try to tell people, don't try to box in the location. You got to keep in mind what is local. And like, I don't want to give too much away in case anybody is watching that does want to come investigate. We always leave it up to the teams when they come in. What type of tour do you want? Do you just want us to walk you through the house? Do you want history of the family and history of the Fort Wayne, the little bit that we will give you? Or do you want, tour with some history and some paranormal? So, we always leave it up to the team.
There's also another huge mystery to our house because the house wasn't originally built where it's at.
Oh, interesting.
It was moved in the 40s.
So it's deeded for when it was moved.
Yeah. So it's a very unique location. You're going to walk up to it. It's in a residential area. You're going to walk up to it and you're going to be like, this isn't run down and look spooky. What is this? Like, oh my God, this is, this isn't your insane asylum or prison or a fort. No, it's not. We're offering you something that is completely different, makes you think outside the box. And we're proving to you that it doesn't have to be some haunted jail or asylum or prison or something like that. Not that we don't like that. I love all those locations.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me
do.
wrong. I love those locations.
Yes.
But what I'm saying to you, it doesn't have to be that. It doesn't have to be a location where the building is leaning like this and it's all falling apart. And you don't know if you're going to walk through the damn floor. What we're
Well,
showing you,
yeah. Sorry.
You're fine.
yeah, and what we're showing you and we're offering you is a totally different perspective.
Yeah. I mean, a house could be built tomorrow and it could be active. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It doesn't
Oh, yeah.
necessarily have to be, this old decrepit 1700s house falling down. You know what I mean? It can be something from present time. It's about the land too. And I was going to ask you, how far apart is Fort Wayne and the State House?
It's in Fort Wayne.
Yeah, it's 5 minutes from downtown.
Okay.
Not even,
So,
depending on
so
traffic.
they're fairly close to each other.
Oh yeah,
right?
it's within city limits. So
Amber Renee Crank. Am I saying
Yep.
it? I can't. I'm sorry. Am I saying? I don't have my glasses on, so I don't want to say.
yeah,
it
you said
wrong.
her name right. Yeah, you
I
said
did,
her
okay.
name.
So she said, we got battle sounds on our equipment, gunshots, arrows, cannonballs, creaking wagons, soldiers yelling, horses galloping, which sounds awesome.
Yeah. So like they've actually been to our location twice now, and they have it booked for a third time.
That's
So they'll
awesome.
be back in August.
And you're talking about the house, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And is she talking about the house, or is she talking
Yeah.
about Fort Wayne?
Oh no, she's talking about her team came out, Illuminate the Beyond. They've been out to the house to investigate twice. And they'll be back out again in August to investigate a third time.
That's awesome. So do you think, because you're saying that now this activity seems to be overlapping each other, like stuff that could be at the fort is now at the house, stuff that at the house could be at the fort, right? Was I understanding that correctly, how you guys are saying?
No. No. So the city, our city is called Fort Wayne. We do have a fort
Okay.
in downtown, but it is a replica fort. We've had 3 different forts in Fort Wayne.
Okay.
They've all been burnt down. The latest one was in the War of 1812, which was against the French and the Indians.
Yeah.
So our city is called Fort Wayne. The town or house is in Fort Wayne.
So you have one location. We're not talking about two
Yeah.
separate locations.
Yeah,
Yes.
no, it's just one location.
Okay. I thought there was a fort and there was a house, and you guys were like,
Oh
doing
no, it's the house in. A lot of people ask why is it called the State House? It's located on West State Boulevard, so
yeah,
it's the State House. Now, one little tidbit I will tell you that's really cool is we've gone back a few times to investigate, and like we'll bring the kids with us. Like my 2 live with us; they'll come sometimes to investigate, or Gabby will come with us. Mom and Michelle will show up. And one of the times we were there, we had everybody investigating, and we kept getting in Estes down in the basement a French soldier, and I actually could picture him. Like I knew exactly what he looked like, and he kept asking, "Where's the fort?" But it's very broken English, and it sounds like he's asking, "Where's the foot?" But but it's in broken French. Like it's very so very thick French accent, very broken English, and he has come through quite a few times for other teams too, from what we've been told.
That's really cool. Something keeps popping up on my screen. I don't know what it is. Sorry. I'm listening to you, but something keeps on popping down. It's like this orange thing, and I don't know what the heck it is. I'm a little confused. Anyway. Okay.
You're not getting like a severe weather alert, are you?
I don't think so. I don't hear anything out there now. It was thundering and lightning when I first came down, but I don't hear anything now. So, all right, now I'm here. I'm sorry. I was confused for a minute. I thought there were two.
It probably is easy for you to get confused being on the East Coast where you have these actual big forts.
Yeah.
So hearing us say, well, Fort Wayne, yeah, I mean, if roles are reversed, I'd be like, oh, okay, so there's a fort called Fort Wayne there.
Yeah.
I get it. Trust me.
Yep.
So how long has you said how long has it been? 7 months now?
Yeah, 7 months. We opened it up the first week of January of 2025.
So do you think that the more people that go in there, the more active it's getting?
I think there are more spirits coming in that want to be heard and want to be seen, and they know that people are going there to look. And I think because we do have a high influx of mediums that are going in, and mediums are beacons of light, spirits are drawn to us. It's like, oh my God, you can hear me, you can see me, you can talk to me, you can relay my message. Because of the high influx of mediums that are coming through, I feel like we do have a lot more spirits that are coming through as well, because they've got a message. They want to be seen, they want to be heard. I know we've got family that is showing up, not just, he's got more family that seems to be popping up here and there. And I've got more family that's popping up. And what's interesting is they keep telling me we're protectors, we're guardians of the home. So, we know without doubt there's nothing there that, I mean, I would go and sleep there myself, except they probably wouldn't let me sleep. They'd all be trying to talk my ear off. But I mean, I would stay in the house by myself. There's nothing worrisome in the home whatsoever. And the fact that we've got spirits that are there that are like, no, we're protecting it. And other teams, I mean, other mediums have even told us, like, you've got spirits that are like here full time protecting your house, right? Like, it's really cool, like the validation we keep getting from people who don't know. Because, we have people that be like, don't tell us anything. So we don't. And it's like, we'll hear from them within a week or two, like, oh my God, we're getting this name, this name, this name. And come to find out, it's a mixture of both of our relatives. And they're like, yeah, they're saying they're protecting the house, so that's really cool.
Yeah. And I think like, when you spend time in a place more and more and more, and it's a beacon of light, or it's a conduit, if you will. And I think that maybe just the two of you working together and doing what you're doing, I think it's bringing the families together as well. You know what I mean? Like, and that's awesome. How does mom feel about your family showing up, more and more family? Is she
Yeah, she's enjoying it. She really is. Um, I mean, the one aspect, yeah, it's tough. You lose your husband of almost 30 years. Um, that aspect's tough, but it's cool in her eyes to know that our loved ones are still here and still around, and we could prove it. And that aspect's, it's cool. That warms her heart.
Yeah. Yeah. So what kind of evidential stuff have you gotten that, like, is there anything that matches up with the history that you guys have gotten?
Mm,
Like the
It's
history of the
okay if not.
house
I was just
or
curious.
Fort Wayne.
I guess more the house. I mean,
yeah. I mean, we have a cast of characters that have been in the house the whole
Well,
time.
there's Carolyn.
So I do know that the couple
Yeah, come here.
that owned the house before my mom bought it passed away there.
mhm.
Now, I have not went to like look at records to find their names. I haven't had time to do all that.
Well, we did try.
We did try. Well, we went down for a different reason, but um, yeah, that aspect, I don't know. We get so many different names. It's kind of hard to understand if it's just spirits that are passing through or coming to the house because we know people
Sure.
are talking to them, or is it somebody that's like a resident spirit that's there? That I don't know. But you know, a few things that's almost like guaranteed. Like they love to talk. So
Oh
if
God,
you
yeah.
show up with a portal box, a SB7, SB11, S box, necrophonic digital recorder, you are going to get responses. They love to talk to you, and you're going to hear them in the house. Like you'll be on the first floor, you will hear stomping upstairs. If you're upstairs, you will hear it downstairs. And they will toy with you. Um, they like to touch people there.
Mhm.
A handful of people have seen full body apparitions in the house. I have not. I've seen shadow figures there. I have not seen a full body apparition yet.
Well, going with the full bounty operation, we actually had Wolf Royalty Paranormal run live for 42 hours. and they did it in 8-hour clips. And I'll have to talk to David Moody, but they actually caught with one of their cameras that they had in an upstairs room that actually caught the stairs going down. They caught a full-bodied apparition manifest on the stairs, stay there for a while, and then turn and then walk through a wall.
Oh,
Which
wow.
would have put you right into the living room, like you would have fallen down onto something. Like there's nothing to walk out onto.
Amber says they don't let me sleep. It's so active. Glad you guys opened it up.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people. So we encourage you. Well, obviously, if you can only come for one night, please come for one night.
Yeah.
But we encourage you to literally book it for the whole weekend. Come Friday, move in, act like it's your house, lounge out, this or that, because it seems to be when that happens, that's when it comes up to another level. Like Amber said, there's a lot of people that have stayed that whole weekend. Like they'll say, like, I couldn't sleep like the whole time.
Oh yeah.
Like I could feel them staring at me, or it's constant footsteps, or it's knocking, or it's this or that.
Doors moving.
And it's hard. It's hard to get some of that stuff when you're just there one night. Wake up, have that Folgers in the morning with the spirits. You know what I mean? And experience. I mean, we've had people, they're like live. They're like this the second day, like, I've got no sleep. They will not leave us alone. Like, this place is nuts. Like,
yeah. And you know what? It's like the Peaches and I, we don't like overnights are just not enough for us. Like we like to do the weekends. Like we like to have those because we've learned that each night gets better and better. I think when you first get there, you got to get acclimated with the property. You got to get acclimated with the building. You got to get acclimated with, the energy, the spirit, whatever you want to call it, whoever's there, whatever's there. And then once they know, okay, this is cool. It's always like the next night there's like a little bit more or a lot of bit more. It happened to us at Hinsdale. It happened to us at Wildwood Sanitarium. You know what I mean? Like
perfect examples.
Yeah. I mean, like these places that, you're there for, more than one night. And I think you do need more than one night anywhere. You know what I mean? It's really hard to capture really good stuff just in 4 hours or 6 hours or whatever you have. So I think it's awesome that you open it up for the weekends and stuff. And I promise you, I literally need to do a West Coast trip. There's so many locations that I want to go to on the West Coast from after doing my show and getting to meet these people and know people are on the west side of the United States. You know what I mean? That there's all these cool places that I just want to go to. And, I would love to come up to the State House. I mean, it's a hike for me. I used to live in Ohio, right? Long time ago in 1997. I lived in Ohio for 3 years and I lived in a town called Fremont, Ohio.
Okay. Yeah.
I know where that's at.
This was prior to me being in the paranormal field. Jump ahead last year, all of a sudden, all these people are talking about this haunted house in Fremont, Ohio. And I'm like, what? Like Fremont is like a nothing place in Ohio. Like there's nothing there. I like, it was dreadful 3 years, I will tell you. But, I was 45 minutes from Toledo, 45 minutes from Columbus. They had all this cool stuff out there, but I never knew of any haunted locations. Now all these people are going to Fremont, Ohio for this. I can't remember the name of the place, but there's a place in Fremont, Ohio that everybody's going to now. And the house that I stayed in, that I lived in, this was before I was in the paranormal. I was afraid of this shit, right? So there was stuff happening in the place I was staying in, and I wanted no parts of it. I was like, no, what is happening? So many things happened in my cool apartment. It was an old house. We had the whole entire top floor. That was like the servants' quarters. So they still had the bells on the doors and everything. And I'm telling you, some crazy shit went down in my apartment. And I was not into the paranormal at the time. So I was scared out of my mind. I wanted no parts of it. I was like, if this continues, I'm moving the F out. I wanted no parts of it.
So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So you mentioned going out to the West Coast. So Brie and I we're going out to the West Coast. We've been invited to an event out in San Francisco in August. We're super pumped about it. But my question to you, and this is all you East Coast people, why is it us Midwesterners, we'll travel all over the country, we'll go that 15-hour drive, we'll go to the East Coast, we'll do all this, but you East Coast people are kind of snobbish and won't make the trip to the Midwest? Why
Because
is that?
once you leave New Jersey, you got to pump your own gas. No, I'm kidding. No, here's the thing. I'm including you in my West Coast trip. Like I'm geographically like there's no middle, right? So even New Jersey, like there's a south and there's a north. A lot of my Jersey people are going to argue me with that. They're going to say there's a central Jersey. There is not. It's a north and a south. There's an east and a west, right? There's somewhere you just draw the line down the middle, and that's that, right? So you have the West Coast, you have the East Coast, right? So you guys are included in that. I mean, it's like anything past Pennsylvania is West Coast to me.
See,
You know?
the way we look at it, anything east of Ohio is East Coast.
Right.
So it's like, because Ohio and Indiana, like there is like a hotbed of places.
Oh yeah.
Kentucky has a bunch, Illinois, Michigan. I mean, there's a lot here in the Midwest. I mean, obviously we don't have as much history to offer as the East Coast does. I mean, that's just obvious. I mean, you're not going to come to some place that was built in the 1700s here in Indiana. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, but it's a different type of haunt.
Right.
And it's a different type of history, right? So it's different. I would love to have a road, if I could afford it, I would love to just do it like a 2 or 3 week road trip and just head out west, like just go out there, but stop at these places. You know what I mean? Like, and go to all these places that I've wanted to go to. There's so many broadhead, like all kinds of things. What?
Said that's right. Jersey girls don't pump gas.
Yeah. I'm kidding. I mean, like, it's just, for me, like, it's just time. For me personally, it's money, it's time. It's very hard for me to get off at my job, and you know what I mean. Like, so it's a lot, and I have a lot of.
How long was our drive to Penhurst?
Penhurst was 10.5 hours.
10.5 hours.
The longest that we've done together was Savannah at 16 in total. And then the longest I've done was when I did the 3-week trip all the way out on the East Coast. When I bounced between Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Delaware, all of the happy states, New Jersey.
So us Midwestern folks here, we got up early. We drove 10 hours to Penhurst, checked in the hotel, then went to Penhurst, checked in with Bob and Gina, and then went and helped Bob investigate that night. Then got up and
God bless your hearts. I'm telling you, I think the furthest I've driven for an investigation was probably 7.5 hours. 7.5, and that's both ways. Like, I went up to Rolling Hills Asylum, or we were at Hinsdale, but then went to Rolling Hills for the day, which was amazing, by the way. And then the opposite direction was Virginia, Whitfield, Virginia, and that was the Octagon Mansion, and that was amazing as well. So I haven't driven further than that, but it's not saying that I wouldn't. It's just that if I were to drive, like, I feel like it would be a road trip by myself. My fiance is not into the paranormal at all. So if I'm going anywhere like Kentucky or Indiana or Ohio or anything like that, he's gonna be like, "Babe, you're on."
Hey, you drive to Gettysburg, you're halfway there. You're halfway to us. Like, just keep going. Then you could go to like Madison Seminary, then Ohio State Reformatory, and then you can come to us in Fort Wayne, and then you just keep trucking.
Just keep going.
Find somebody to come with you so they can pump your gas.
Right, that's good. That's good.
I mean,
I like how you think, Nick. Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to get. There's so many places, and you know, the it's just like anywhere where you live. The East Coast is just getting it's like the same thing, the same locations over and over again, right? And so you kind of want to go other places and go see other places. I tell you, when I went to Italy, um, being a paranormal investigator, you think going to places like Pompeii or going to places like, the Colosseum, your first thought would be paranormal, but it isn't.
Right.
You can totally feel it in the stone, in the structures, that there's just something so much more powerful there than Casper. You know what I'm saying? Like it's on a different level. It's like on a spiritual level there. So like bringing a recorder there wouldn't do you justice. Like you just have to go and feel it. Like I literally had my hands on Pompeii streets, and I'm like, it
Right.
literally you can feel it go through your body. You're like, this is amazing. Like you're like,
Like
so
you're standing at the Coliseum and you're literally touching the stone, and in your mind you're like, somebody built this so many eons, like this brick. Like, to me, that is the most fascinating part about all of this.
Yeah,
yeah,
Seriously, like
the history of it.
yeah.
we're going to San Francisco, so we're going to go see Alcatraz and Winchester and stuff like that.
Oh, the Winchester House is gonna be cool.
Like, it's a part of history. Like, I want to touch it.
Yeah,
It we're not even going to go investigate these places. I just want to see
we
them.
just
I
want
want to
to
physically
experience them.
touch them.
Yeah.
It's about
That's
like having that human moment, not there for what can go bump in the night, but having that human moment and just being in awe of what's been created and what it was used for. Like
absolutely.
the Winchester house, with how she was losing touch with reality due to how she was mourning the loss of her husband and then her child, and she just kept building and building and building. And it reminds me,
Well,
coming from a Christian background, it reminds me of like the Tower of Babel, trying to get closer to God. Was she continuously building to try to get closer to?
Well, I also read too that she because of the Winchester, the rifle, the
Yeah,
gun, she felt guilty for all the lives that were lost at the hands
yeah,
of the weapons that her family built. So she hated having all this money, so
yeah,
she was using the money. What else could she do with it? Is build, 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 build. And then when losing her mind, thinking that she was being haunted by the people that were killed by the guns and everything. And
yeah.
you know what I
All
mean? Like,
because that seer told her. That seer supposedly told her, "You're haunted by all the souls who have ever been killed, unalived by a
see how
Winchester." Like,
powerful words can be.
and that's what I tell people all the time. Like, we speak life or we speak death. Our tongue is a double-edged sword. Like, you gotta watch what you say. And like, I take that to heart when I'm giving readings. Like, I do. It might sound corny and cheesy to some people. I think about how that site that and I don't really think the person was a psychic. I think she was just using the term to get money, and she knew she could get money out of Sarah. And it's like there's a perfect example. Be careful what you say when you're giving somebody, a word. When you're relaying a message, use what they say. Don't try to use your interpretation.
Right.
It's so important. And I think that what we watched Sarah Winchester go through is a huge learning lesson for mediums worldwide to
Yeah.
to pay attention to today. And
Oh,
what's
for
sad is
sure.
that people don't pay attention to it.
Absolutely. I agree with you. And I was also going to say before I say what I'm going to say next, I just have to give a shout out to Jing. She's in Indonesia, so we're being watched in Indonesia right now. So I have
Hi.
to give a shout out to her. She's a trooper.
What?
But that's the one thing. There's like you got these. We love a lot of the real investigators, the ones that are in this for what we got into this for. Either whether that's helping private homes, whether that's helping locations to restore, rebuild, or whether that's just having a research center for people to go to. You know what I mean? That can, I mean, your help. You're putting good back into the paranormal. But one thing that we love is the history of it.
Yeah.
We love the history. And there's some historians that totally think the paranormal is taboo. And I'm like, dude, we're doing the same thing. We're just doing it different ways. You're keeping the history
Yeah,
alive.
Exactly.
yeah,
We're
that's
keeping the history alive, but we're also trying to keep the history alive. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But we're doing it in different ways. You know what I mean?
there.
And
There is not another genre of people that put more time and resources and money into saving locations and
yeah,
and preservation or restoration than the paranormal people.
right.
It's people's ignorance that you assume that it's some punk goth kid that's chasing ghosts.
Or
Do you know how
demons.
many people that I know that are doctors or lawyers or teachers, first responders, military men, stuff like that are in the paranormal?
Yeah.
If you take the paranormal out of it, those are very prestigious people for what they do in real life. What they do after their job is also extraordinary, which is being into the paranormal.
Yeah.
It's
I know.
mind-boggling to me. And
I know.
historians are the absolute worst. They walk around with their noses up, like
Yep.
everything, like Jesus appointed them to do God's work or something. Like, no, stop it. We're like you just said, Taryn, we're literally doing the same thing, but just in a
In a
different way.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, granted, I'm sure they see like the crazy YouTubers that do things the wrong way, and and make it look bad. But for the majority of the real investigator that's out there that really wants to, we're looking for the answers. We're looking for the history. We want to connect the dots. We want to bring the history back to life. We want to give the story that where the history, you said it earlier, but I always say where the history and the haunts collide. Like
Yeah, yeah.
there's nothing better than that. You know what I mean? And Chamberlain has a quote. I say it all the time. Chamberlain, he even said it in one of my, it's my most favorite quote. How he talks about how spirits linger, bodies disappear, but spirits linger to tell the story to those that come after us that have no idea what we went through, for lack of better description. It's like that's his whole and it's like, thank you, Chamberlain. Like, thank you for saying that. He was at Little Round Top in Gettysburg, you know what I mean? And that was his. I'm
See,
thinking about
we,
getting.
we share a spirit ghosty husband with Chamberlain. That's all there is to it.
So
Oh, girl, that's my man. That's my man.
My man.
let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Why do we put headstones where people are buried?
Well, I'm gonna give you an answer of that I don't know, but I'm just gonna say, um, everybody for memorialization, knowing where they're at. Um, I have learned that the head, it's not really a headstone; it's at the feet. So I don't know why we call it a headstone when it's at the
So
feet. But
we put a headstone or a marker, right? And we put that person's name on it and we timestamp it. They were born here, they died here, right? And that is so whoever comes up to it can recognize that person, or if it's family or friends, they see that, they relive that person, it comes fresh in their mind. That person becomes not immortal in the human sense, but immortal in a different way. Now, we cherish those, but yet we don't cherish what those people did in their life as far as helping build this building, or they were
right,
part of the staff of this building. We don't look at structures the same way. Oh, it's falling down, it's now in the way, let's knock it down and put up something modern,
right.
instead of just taking the time and resource and getting a little creative and keeping the frame of the building. And you can modernize it all you want on the inside,
But,
but
and
keep the beauty of it, the
absolutely.
history.
And yeah, and there's another thing, what you guys are doing, what we do when we go to these locations, what we're doing, we become a part of that the history of that building. Like, take Penhurst for example. All the money that people spend going to Penhurst, yeah, it might be lots of money, but it's going to the preservation of that building. So you become a part of that history of that place. Like, you
Yeah.
Yeah.
become a part of the history. You leave something there. Christopher says, "Show me the manner in which a nation cares for its dead, and I will measure with mathematical exactness the tender mercies of its people, the respect and the laws of the land, and their loyalty to high ideals." William Gladstone. I think people are sharing their favorite quotes. Amber said, "Those not made of matter still matter."
Yeah.
Um, Big Ben, Urban Explorations. He's checking in from Australia.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Hey, everybody. He's saying hey to everybody.
This this is the other beautiful thing about the paranormal.
Yeah.
Is in an instant we can communicate and share stories and love and ideas and everything with everybody around the world
Yeah.
simultaneously. That is
Yeah. Isn't that great?
amazing.
Jinx in Indonesia, and Big Ben is in Australia. So, I mean, we got a lot of people, watching, and that's a good thing. Because, I mean, you guys are great. This is a good conversation. I like where this is going.
Yeah, I know. I'm loving this. I know he is too. He's excited.
I was a little flustered in the beginning. I apologize for that. But,
It's okay. I get it. I understand. Believe me, I understand. I understand. I
Oh
know
yeah.
I know you do. Trust me, I know.
um but yeah, I mean, to me, I wish that the historians, I mean, we'll talk about Gettysburg for a second, my favorite place on the planet. But I wish I could have a park ranger on, or I wish I could have somebody on that is a historian, because can you imagine how great that conversation would be? Just, like, I wanted to do a show where I had a historian and me, and the historian told the historical facts of where we were at, and I told the paranormal side of where we were at, on the battlefield or in the park, or if you will, you know what I mean? Like, but there's historians just don't want to participate. Like, they think that the paranormal field is, and I'm not saying all historians, but the hardcore, the ones that are like all about history, and they
Well,
think,
it's you look at religion. Religions do the same thing.
yeah. Yeah, and to me, I'm always like, how can you say that? And I'm not saying every religion believes this, but a majority of religions believe that Jesus died on the cross and rose again and walked. Well, doesn't that make him a ghost, a spirit? Then why don't we believe that? Like, why is it so hard to believe that we can go back? You know what I mean? And be on this earth again, after, because, Jesus did it, and I know what people are gonna say, well, it was Jesus, but still, I mean, if you believe that he could do that, then why? And then you have the Catholic Church that actually teaches exorcisms, to the priest to be able to perform exorcisms. Well, if there's somewhere where you can perform an exorcism, there's got to be the opposite. Where there's a yin, there's a yang. There's got to be that
Yeah.
the opposite there.
I shouldn't have said anything about religion because now I got like 50 things I want to say, and
I know, me too. I'm like, just like I pulled my chair up. I started sitting up straighter. Like, all right, let's go.
So I will tell you this, Taryn. So when I made the decision, so what happened when I got into the paranormal was I myself and my children were being physically attacked in my house by entities, and a well-known shaman in our area came and helped me tremendously and changed our lives forever. And that made my decision to get into the paranormal to do what he did to help people. And my first thought process was, I was raised Catholic, the whole 9 yards. I understood that every home I was going to walk into wasn't a Christian faith. So I started diving into a lot of different religions. I needed to understand them. I needed to understand their faith. I needed to understand their mindset and stuff like that. So I started diving into different religions and stuff, and it's that's a whole nother show. I don't even know why I'm going on a tangent.
Well,
Shit.
hey,
We just did 2 weeks of lives. Like when I do my Wednesday lives, I did 2 weeks of religion and paranormal, and the second week I had Nick on, and we just did that. Like there's so much that can be said.
Big
Yeah,
Ben
I mean,
the true history lovers don't want to mix paranormal with the history because people go in these places, change the facts of of the place, so sound dark and creepy. On I know, and that's what I said earlier. Some
Yeah.
of them see these YouTubers that go in there and everything's a demon or everything's like and yes, that does occur, and I agree. And unfortunately, and that's why most of us real investigators can't stand the fake YouTubers, and that's why there's debunkers out there. That's why there's people out there, which I love the debunking community, the good debunking community, like the
The good
one
yeah,
that,
I mean,
debunkers are good.
there's good and bad just in the debunking community.
Oh yeah.
yes,
So
absolutely. The ones
Oh
that
yeah.
do their research, the ones that really go, what I mean? That's why I appreciate the skeptics and I appreciate the debunkers that are the good ones that know what they're doing and do everything with 100% research and 100% like, not just to talk shit, they're in there because they say, okay, this is this is that, and break it down. But you're absolutely right. Um, and it can tarnish a reputation. Absolutely.
I mean, let's say you're a historian and you have this building and you open it as a museum and you're walking around every day telling the same story about this individual and their life and this or that. How cool would it be to find a trustworthy group that could come in
Hmm.
and just keep diving into it and getting evidence? And now you can say on your tour that General so and so that built this house and this or that, he is still here. Here's the
Right.
living proof. And you can talk about it on your tour. I'm going to tell you right now, if you did that, you would quadruple your sales of your museum.
Right.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like most people, they'll go to a museum or maybe on their vacation to some cool place. They're like, well, we'll go to the museum for the day because we just to see how it is in that area. But other than that, like you're not getting repeat customers.
Right.
So
Amber says,
go
yeah.
ahead.
No. Go ahead. Sorry, I
So yeah,
interrupted you.
I mean, you just think about that cool factor. Like I'm gonna go to General whatever house while we're on vacation, and it's gonna be cool, and I might have the opportunity to actually talk to this general in an audio device and that's been dead for 250 years. Like,
Yeah.
how freaking cool would that be? But they don't see it like that, and it's like we sit there and tell them, like, look, yes, we have the knuckleheads going around, running around. We have that. Every genre of people has the bad apples of people. It doesn't matter what genre you're in, you have
Absolutely.
those bad apples. But there's a lot of good people doing a lot of good work. You literally have to vet these people out. Find your core group of people. Let them help you in your cause. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Right.
It
Yeah, absolutely.
blows my
Amber,
mind.
and Amber brings up a good. She says some historians get it wrong, and tour guides, because they'll have the stories wrong, and which is true. I mean, there's a local place near me. It's called Gabriel Davies Tavern, old 1700s, and like there was a when I was with a group at one point. That was one of the places that we went to a lot, and there was a medium in our group, and she was insisting that there was a cannon buried on the property, and the historians and the tour guides were like, no, everything's been found. She's like, no, there is something else here, there's something buried here, there's another cannon here, and they literally found another cannon buried on that property.
Wow.
So she's absolutely right, and that might just be they didn't know, and she kept it. I mean, it took about a year to convince them to look for what she was, because she's like, it's there, and they finally found it. And to me, that's impressive. I mean, and they give her all the credit. They say, we would never have looked for this if it wasn't for this consistency from this person telling us over and over again. So, um, Central Michigan Paranormal Investigations. Hello. Sadly, it is the stigma they don't want. Yeah, it mean it does mean less money because of that fear, and many places are okay with that, though. Yeah, it does. It stinks. It
Yeah.
does. I can't imagine, like, when I think about this, like the park rangers that work the park at night and stuff, like the things they must see or the things, because I hear that they have experiences, but they won't talk about it with anybody.
Yeah, they're
You know,
not allowed to. They're actually told that they're not allowed to discuss it.
so yeah. So I keep trying to convince my fiance. I'm like, go be a park ranger in Gettysburg and work the night show, and we'll do ride-alongs. I'm like, you have military background. I'm like, you can be just go be a park ranger in Gettysburg, so we can drive the park whenever we want.
That would be awesome.
That would be so cool. Um, so before we head out, it's already over an hour, and I mean, listen, we can keep going. I don't care. But I just want to make sure everybody knows where they can, you know, really quick, give us a rundown of, like, how much does it cost for state to come up to the state house, and where they can look, where they can book with you, and you say it's open 365. So is there like different prices for the week and the weekends and all that stuff? Like how you guys got that worked out?
Okay, so Friday and Saturday night is $150 for up to 5 people. Any additional person is only $35 each. And then you get the house from 6 p.m. till noon. So then Sunday through Thursday is only $100 for up to 5 people, and only $35 each additional person. We do not require at this point a financial deposit. All we require are the names of those who will be attending. So once we get those names, you will have up until a week prior to make any changes to your lineup. And the main reason that we ask for names up front is it's a safety thing, because this is a family location. If Nick and I aren't there to check a team in, then it's Michelle and Mom. If it's not Michelle and Mom, then it's going to be one of our children. So it's mainly a safety thing. And with us taking a stance in the community for safety and trying to protect people, we want people to know that they are coming to a safe location. We are making sure that they are, taken care of, and that we are looking out for their best interest, And so you get the house from 6 p.m. till noon the following day. So, like, say you book Friday, you would get it till noon on Saturday, or whatever your last day of booking is, it would be noon the following day.
Gotcha.
And you can, right now, I'm still trying to get the website up and running. So until the website is up, you can find the State House on Facebook. I know some people have had trouble finding it. So if you type in the State House, Fort Wayne, Indiana, you will find it. Just shoot us a message. I'm getting ready to drop the July calendar. And in all honesty, in July, I don't even think we have any weekends left.
I think our next weekend's available or it's September.
Good for you guys.
So, yeah, but we do have the weeks available. It seems right now we're booking out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Those are the 3 nights that are consistently booked right now through the summer. So we do still have weeknights available for those who, are looking for something to do during the week.
And look, like, if you message us and be like, I want to come on a Wednesday and it's just me and I'll probably only be there like 4 hours, like, we'll work with you. Like, all right, man, $30. Like, we're not in it to make money. We hope to make enough to pay the bills for the place,
sustain the house.
Yeah.
Whatever's left literally goes to help my mother. That's it. And awesome. It's a unique place. It offers a different style haunting, a different style location, and
thank you, Amber.
We hope that you keep it on your radar. Yes, I know we can't compete with Ohio State Reformatory or White Hill or anything like that. We know that. But if you're looking
Hey, not yet. I mean, you're fairly
to
new.
Yeah.
broaden the spectrum of hauntings and stuff like that, throw this in your repertoire. You know what I mean? This is something completely different.
I mean, we recently just had a pretty interesting time with a YouTuber. Him and his cameraman left, and they were like, we've filmed at numerous locations, and we are stumped. We cannot. We had, he even said, I've never been one to see an apparition, and this is the first time I saw with my eyes. I saw somebody for the first time, and it scared the shit out of me. So like, and it's, we want people to come. We want people, if you've got a new, you've got a new piece of equipment you want to try. You've got a new technique you want to try. We want to give people, we call it a research center because this is a safe environment for you to experiment, for you to say, okay, I've got this new piece of equipment. I know there's a clean location I can go to where, crazy shit they don't allow the crazy shit to go down there. And I can go and I can try this out. Now, we want people to come and try new theories out. We just ask that you think your theory through, because we really don't want Satan being conjured. And if you do conjure Satan, please take him home with you. That is all we ask. We don't want to have to shut business down to get the house completely purged. Okay? It's just using your brain.
This location is open to all ages.
Yeah.
As well.
You got to think 4 generations grew up in this home. So it wasn't just, mom. It was Nick and his sister. It was their children and Michelle's grandchildren. So 4 generations.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and I understand the whole wanting for the security and safety aspect of it. And you don't want just anybody running up in there and yelling that there's negative demonic stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I totally get that. Like, it's you want it to stay clean, and in order to do that, there's some protocols you have to follow, and that's fair. And even, I mean, the price is very
so have you done the Bell Mansion? I've never heard of it.
He kind of created the Bell Mansion.
That's funny. No, I mean, that obviously this person doesn't know.
I know.
But it's okay. Can we plug one more thing before we leave?
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
So we want to talk about our little symposium. It's not going to be little. I don't know why I said little, but
we've got room for up to 45 vendors, and we're down to like 15 tables left right now.
Mysteries of the Fort, a paranormal metaphysical symposium. So we are meshing, and just like the history and the paranormal, we need to put them together. We are putting together the paranormal and the metaphysical because they do go hand in hand. So I'll let Brie explain what we're going to be doing on each day. It's November 7th through the 9th in Fort Wayne, Indiana this year. So have at it, babe.
All right. So it's going to be at the Holiday Inn Purdue, which is at 4111 Paul Schaefer Drive in Fort Wayne. And on Friday night, we are opening up with a mingler. It's going to be from 8 to 11. I know a lot of people are like, a Holiday Inn. Okay, this is your old school Holiday Inn where it's got the bar and grill. This isn't like your, Holiday Inn Express off the freeway. This is actually the one that's used for the Coliseum where, like, the musicians play at and the sports are done. This is a real big hotel. So we rented out the bar and the grill for Friday night. We're going to have, with your ticket, the tickets for Friday are only $55 a person. You are going to get dinner. You get 1 drink provided. That would be alcoholic. If you get pop, it's unlimited pop. But we are going to do not 1, but 2 different styles of a gallery reading. So it's going to open up with Heidi Kemper and myself performing a gallery reading. And this isn't one where we're going to be on stage. The restaurant is actually in an L shape. So we get to walk the restaurant and actually we'll get the chance to sit down and interact with everybody who is there for this event. And then Sam Beltrusis is going to wrap up doing his much talked about Samons that he does. So that's really exciting. Then Saturday, our goal when Nick and I started talking about this, we wanted to take it back to what Paracons were. How you hear people talking about, we used to just talk and we would share ideas. It wasn't so much like, who can outdo who, and who's been on what TV show. Like this, it used to be about networking and trying to help each other. And I'm like, we need to take it back. With all the drama that's going on in the paranormal, let's take it back to the grassroots. Let's take it back to what it's supposed to be. Let's, will it catch fire? Will it catch on? I don't know, but we can at least make that effort.
Yeah.
So Saturday, and I think it's so important because, like, we actually were offered a chance to host a Paracon here in Indiana, and we accepted. And when we accepted, I actually went down the rabbit hole and started joining groups of, people that were going to Paracons, and started really paying attention to what people were saying about the Paracons that they were going to. And people were saying that they were tired of like the same song and dance. Like, I'm tired of spending all this money and seeing the same people that were on the same TV show talking about the same thing that happened 20 years ago. We've all heard the same story. Like, I want fresh. I want to hear from location owners. I want to hear from equipment builders. I want to hear from mediums. I want to hear, authors, like all this stuff. And so what we're doing on Saturday is we're actually having interactive panels. We're going to have 5 panels on Saturday. It is going to be equipment builders. We are going to have location owners, which I'm super excited. We're going to have Robin Terry, who owns Ashmore Estates. We're going to have Mike Couch with Rhodes Hotel. Cindy Kuhn with the Ross House. We're going to have Carlo, who has Beale Manor, Carlo Zurich. It's just, it's so exciting that we're going to have these location owners in that are going to talk about the back end, and give people like a whole different perspective of the pay to play,
Three of those people have been on my show. See?
Oh, really?
These are the locations I want to go to. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, so 3 of them have been on my show for sure. So
I
love all those
awesome.
people. Yeah, I love them all. I think they're all amazing people.
That's awesome. Yeah. So there's
more.
But yeah. So then we're going to have one that, and Taryn, you're going to love this. We are having one that is dedicated to the first responders in the paranormal who are making a positive difference in the dark.
Awesome.
That one we are extremely excited about, highlighting those who are, putting their lives on the line, but are taking their interest in the paranormal and opening up doors for people in ways that probably would not have been opened up, so it's really exciting. We're going to have a panel of authors, and then we're also going to have a panel of mediums. Saturday night, we're going to be doing an investigation in Defiance, Ohio, which is about a half-hour, 45-minute drive from us, depending on traffic, at Oglaze Village, which is managed by Austin Maynard's team, the Underground Paranormal Network. And he's actually going to be on the equipment builders panel as well. And so is Jeff Fent. Jeff Fent is actually going to be on that panel too.
Oh, good.
So
I love
we
Jeff.
are so excited to have Jeff. And then Sunday, we are going to have 5 different classes / lectures that are going to all be aimed at different things metaphysical. Some of these classes, the things that, like, there's going to be one based on Reiki. There's one that's going to be based on, has to do with angel healing. One's another one about bringing balance and harmony back into your life. I mean, there's some of these I've never heard of. I'll be honest. Like, I
always learning.
I learned new things making the posters for these classes, because I thought one word was Native American, and then come to find out it was Hawaiian. So I felt pretty silly, because he's like, no, babe, it's Hawaiian.
Ponopo?
Yeah. And he was like, it's Hawaiian. And I'm like, oh, I thought it was Native American. My bad. I thought that.
Well, I mean, listen, how else are you going to learn?
Yeah. So it's something that we're really excited about. And what makes it even better is we're giving back to the local community here in Fort Wayne. So it's only $10 a ticket. You can go to mysteriesofthefort.com. We do have VIP packages available, and you can pre-purchase tickets as well. Now, What we're going to do, though, is we've partnered with Humane Fort Wayne. So the Humane Society of Fort Wayne, if you bring any items that are on their wish list, you will get $2 off your ticket. And since it is basically Veterans Day weekend, all veterans and first responders are automatically 50% off. So they get in for 5. If you bring something in, you're
I
getting
love
in for
that.
3. So we're also doing a 50-50 raffle, and the 50-50 raffle, the proceeds from that is going to go to the Shepherd's House here in Fort Wayne. The Shepherd's House, what they do is they work with homeless veterans to get them back up on their feet.
That's
So
awesome.
we are giving back to our veterans. We're giving back to our fur babies. Now we're also going to be
Love,
doing.
love.
There's one more thing. I know it's a lot. So we're
No.
doing an actual like basket raffle as well. And with the raffle, each year we're going to choose a different historically haunted location that is in need of funds to help with repairs, restorations, and preservations. This year, I know a lot of people are kind of like, wait, what? But we are going with the State House only because we literally had a hole open up and it's raining in the house, in a closet right now. So we got to get a new roof for the State House. But each year, what we're gonna format it to where people are able to submit. They're going to be able to vote for their favorite location that is in need. Like we will present a list of locations that we know of that are in need, and people are going to get a chance to vote on which location they want the proceeds to go to. So it's going to be an interactive where people are going to get the say and who they want to see helped.
That's awesome. Good for you guys. I love it. I love it. And I love, and this is what I love. I love people like you in this field who are giving back to the people in this field, or even the people that aren't in this field, the veterans, the fur babies, like, and that's what we need more of. It's not just about how much money can you put in your pocket.
Right.
Right.
That's not what we're about. It's, and yes, listen, I say this all the time. This would be my dream job. If somebody said, Taryn, quit your job. I want you to do your show. I want you to paranormal investigate. I want you to go to locations. I want you to have power events, and I'll pay you to do it. Fuck yeah, I'm all about it. It's my dream job.
I mean, who wouldn't do that?
Right.
But,
It's my dream job,
Hands
right?
down, all
But
day, every day.
but it's not what motivates me. It's the money doesn't motivate me. I've been doing my show for 8 years. I've been paranormal investigating for 15 years. Like, I don't make a dime. I made shirts. I gave them all away. You know what I mean? Like, I don't make any money doing this. Like, but if somebody one day was like, yeah, I'll pay you to do it, I'm like, okay, let's do it. But it's not what
Right.
motivates me. And it's not what motivates you guys. You guys have passion. That's what motivates you. And that's when you find the successful people, the longevity, the successful people that are longevity. I don't care what anybody says about ghost hunters, but Jay Halls and them, like they are passionate. They are, real. They are the real deal. Like
they're a class
they're the real,
act.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
they really
hands
are.
down.
So they had a TV show, but they didn't fake anything. They didn't. I mean, there's the controversy with Grant, and Jay never knew about that part until later on. You know what I mean? But besides that, you know, they they've always kept it real. Why do you think they've been around for 20 something years?
Mhm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it speaks volumes. They're not just here for 5 minutes. They're here for 20 something years. So, um, I thank you guys for everything that you're doing. And I love that despite all of the stuff that has happened, you remain positive and you smile, you love each other, and you keep it real.
We have our moments where we're
Yeah, everybody does.
rather
We're human.
curious, but
Yeah.
Well, and that's the good thing though, is that we
Yeah.
like with how we work though, is that I think with all the stuff that we have traversed in the past, well, going on 2 years now, is that we've been able to help balance each other.
Yeah.
Like we give
And
each
that's
other that
important.
space, but we help build each other back up. And I think especially with how our field is, you got to have that person that can be that rock for you, that can help,
Yeah.
give you that space to let you be furious and rant and rave, possibly right along with you, but then be like, okay, enough. Let's pull our big kid panties, let's pull on our big boy panties or big girl panties, and let's get back to what we're doing. We're not
Yeah.
going to let this to bring us down any farther.
Yeah, that'd be my peaches. They're my other half, my peaches.
That's awesome.
All right, guys. And I love you both. I could talk to you both forever. We've been on
Oh,
for an
we
hour.
love you, Karen.
But I love you guys.
Thank
And listen,
you.
everybody that's watching, please share the show out. Not for me, but for Brie, for Nick, for the State House, for the event they have coming up. Please share the show out and make sure you tune in next week. You guys got anything else to add?
Just be kind.
Be kind. Yes.
Be kind.
Do something nice for somebody this week. Do something nice that's unexpected and not asked for. Go outside of your comfort box and be kind to somebody and do something nice.
Volunteer your time at your favorite location. Go mow their grass. Go sweep the carpets. Just give back. That's it. All right. Bye, everybody. Have a good night.
There's a lot of people out there who are hospitalized and bedridden and can't get out and go out and do it for those guys. Yeah.
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 Absolutely. Yeah. I like that, Big Ben. All right. With that, until next week, everyone. Sweet dreams.